let's jump right into this explainer. Look, if you work anywhere near modern infrastructure, you already know the dream, right? The fully automated set-it-and-forget-it CI/CD pipeline. You just push your code, the platform takes over, and boom, everything perfectly deploys to production without you lifting a single finger. It's a beautiful vision. But if you've ever had a script perfectly execute a flawed command and, say, accidentally lock up a production database, well, you know the reality is a whole lot messier. Today we're unpacking this fascinating dynamic: engineering judgment in a governed platform, or as we're calling it, the unautomatable reality. We're going to explore exactly what happens when the unstoppable force of modern automation smashes into the absolute necessity of your human expertise. So, this raises a massive question. For those of us actually building these systems, can platforms automate absolutely everything? I mean, it's so tempting to think they can. In IT, we kind of fall into this trap. Let's call it the automation illusion. It's this belief that if a platform is powerful enough and the rules are strict enough, we can just eliminate human oversight entirely. We assume the machine's going to figure out the context. But looking at our source material today, it's crystal clear that modern governed platforms, despite all that immense power, actually have a really strict boundary. They literally hit a brick wall when it comes to understanding nuance.
Let's dive right into that first piece, the automation illusion, and finding that hard limit.
There's just this stark contrast between the engine of a platform and the human mind. Governed platforms, they are the ultimate engines of automated execution. They're brilliant at enforcing rules, running complex processes, and firing off commands at massive scale. They don't need coffee, they don't get tired, and they definitely don't skip steps. But here's the kicker: they are completely blind to business context. And that right there is where engineering judgment steps in, the human oversight. The material emphasizes that inside a governed platform, these two forces absolutely have to coexist. You literally can't have the automated execution without that foundational layer of human oversight operating right inside it. The system is really only as smart as the boundaries we set for it.
Which brings us to defining engineering judgment, really getting into that core human element.
The source text actually defines this beautifully. It says, engineering judgment is the critical human oversight inside a governed platform that cannot be automated. Just think about the sheer complexity of the environments we manage. You've got edge cases, weird legacy integrations, architectural quirks, stuff that simply cannot be shoved into a basic binary yes or no rule. Honestly, no matter how advanced the AI or the platform gets, there is a hard physical limit to what the machine can compute on its own. Your judgment represents that exact boundary. It's the highly specific, totally irreplaceable expertise that you bring to the table when a machine hits a scenario it hasn't been explicitly programmed to handle.
So what does this unautomatable reality actually look like? Well, it boils down to three core pillars. First up, schema design decisions. The fundamental architecture of your database maps directly to your real-world business logic. Sure, a machine can normalize a table, but it takes human logic to understand why a certain data structure matters for scaling up next year. Second, migration safety assessments. When you execute a change, figuring out the actual safety in a live, messy, real-world environment, that takes a human. A script might have perfect syntax, but deploying it during peak hours might cause a catastrophic lock. Assessing that risk? Well, that's on you. And third, human accountability. At the end of the day, the buck stops with you. These three things, schema design, migration safety, and human accountability, they are the bedrock of governance that an algorithm simply cannot fake.
The text totally nails this dynamic with one specific line: the human accountability for what the platform actually does. Look, the platform is a massive multiplier for you. It speeds up routine stuff, it wipes out manual copy-paste errors, and it governs the whole process. But when it acts, it's acting on your behalf. The machine executes, absolutely, but the human is accountable. Actually, a properly governed system doesn't try to hide that accountability. It surfaces it. It makes sure that when major decisions happen, there's a clear, traceable line straight back to the engineering judgment that gave it the green line.
All right, let's look at the DB Maestro MCP server, the exact place where judgment meets execution.
This is where the rubber meets the road. The DB Maestro MCP server is officially available right now to all customers and partners. This is the specific environment from our source material designed to actually bring all these high-level ideas to life. It's literally the space where your essential judgment interfaces directly with a governed pipeline. So instead of a platform that just blindly forces code through until something breaks, this server acts like an intelligent gateway. It allows your automated processes to pause, ask for your specific oversight on a schema change or a safety check, and then proceed.
It weaves human accountability natively right into the automated workflow. Real game-changer stuff. Now, if you want to see exactly how this server empowers your specific designs and safety checks without killing your deployment velocity, you're going to want to check out the DB Maestro MCP server page. You can dig into the full documentation there, check out the technical specs, and really understand how to lock in this balance of execution and oversight in your own systems.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question to chew on. Where exactly does your automation end and your accountability begin? As we've seen in this explainer, a governed platform is an unbelievably powerful tool, but the absolute most vital, irreplaceable component operating inside of it is you. Your engineering judgment is the true unautomatable reality. So keep that boundary in mind the next time you're mapping out a new deployment pipeline. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep on learning.